and welcome to Around the Wickets. We are on ThePapare.com. Well, today I can smile. You know the reason. Because Sri Lanka beat South Africa in the T20 series 2-1. Now, first and foremost, there have been a few stories, few comments made saying that the Sri Lankans are beating a third-rated South African side. Well, as far as I'm concerned, it's not about who the players are, it's about the contest. When you go out there, whether you are up against the first rate or the third rate, important thing is to win. And that's what the Sri Lankans have done, and they've done brilliantly with AB de Villiers coming back into the side after injury, also in that South African side. Now, the scores I'm sure you know by this time, 169 for 5 and Sri Lanka clinching it with 1 ball to go. Thanks to Sikuge Prasanna's heroics, outstanding effort. He was used as the floater, and then of course Niroshan Dikwella, fast emerging as one of Sri Lanka's future stars, particularly in the shorter format of the game, the 50 over and the T20 format. So fantastic effort by Sri Lanka. Now what I like about this effort is that this will give the Sri Lankans that self-confidence, the self-belief that I thought they lacked after the test series was lost. Now we did touch in that last program I did where, losing becomes contagious. When you start losing, what happens is you tend to sort of lose your self-confidence. You tend to think that, you cannot win basically. And then the self-doubts come in. And when it starts rubbing off in the team, it can turn out to be very, very dangerous. Now, what the T20 win has done, besides winning a series in South Africa, and mind you, this is the first time Sri Lanka have won something big since the 2014 World T20. See, besides winning in South Africa, what the Sri Lankans have got back is self-belief. Now, they lost the first game by 19 runs. That was a 10-over bash, but that was a big defeat in terms of the number of overs South Africa and Sri Lanka played. 19 runs in 10 overs is a big defeat. But then Angelo Matthews came back strongly in that second game, Sri Lanka winning, South Africa making 113 and Sri Lanka winning by 3 wickets. And yesterday's win seemed to be giving the Sri Lankans the confidence they need. And, well, the ODI series, as we all know, starts on the 28th of January. Now, I'm in no way telling you that the Sri Lankans are going to bash the South Africans in the ODI series. What I'm trying to tell you is that the Sri Lankans, with this series win, will be better equipped mentally to compete in the series. Now, so far, just looking at the record, South Africa and Sri Lanka's ODI record is remarkably tied. 29 for South Africa, 29 for Sri Lanka, with 1 game ending with a no result. But in South Africa, the closest Sri Lankans have come has been a 3-2 in 2012. So they haven't won anything really in South Africa in terms of one-day series. In fact, they haven't won anything even in the test format. So this T20 win, well, will give them a lot of hope and will make them feel better and will take them into the one-day series with a lot of confidence. Now, the Sri Lankan side, Upul Taranga is made captain. Now, that's an interesting choice because Dinesh Chandimal was the official vice-captain to Angelo Matthews, and the selectors have thought of, bringing in Upul Taranga ahead of Dinesh Chandimal, maybe because Taranga has the experience and Chandimal seemed to be struggling with the bat. So the selectors just allowing Chandimal to settle in because he's a key player in the Sri Lankan lineup. Now, a few interesting points that I like to bring in, particularly with the ODI series coming up. Now, as we know, Sri Lanka have lost 3 great players. Angelo Matthews, the captain, injured. Then Nuwan Pradeep. Well, Nuwan Pradeep has been carrying a load, so I think this might do him a world of good getting a break. But Danushka Gunathilaka going there and getting injured is a big blow. He is a big blow because he is one man who can take on the bowling attack. He's a very aggressive player and someone that the Sri Lankans would have been hoping for good things and big things in this series. But then they brought in some exciting young cricketers. Sandun Virakodi, the NCC left-handed batsman, I've been very impressed with him. He scored a lot of runs. He's been very methodical the way that he has approached his game. He played in the A team against the West Indies, did well. And now he's got the big break. There is Lahiru Madhushanka, all-rounder from CCC, and Vikum Sanjay still there, the BRC medium-fast bowler. Well, some people may argue that this squad has a few spin bowling options, but I'm delighted for Chaturanga de Silva. I can tell you that he is in the form of his life, and I also believe that he is maturing and he's at the right stage to play for Sri Lanka. Well, there is Sachit Patrin, of course, who can be a very useful left-arm spinning all-rounder. There is Sandakan. Now, Sandakan is an interesting story. Now, if you look at Sandakan's performance, in the second game, he got 4 wickets. In the third game, he bowled a very fine spell. I'm talking about the T20s. Now, what Sri Lanka is doing is using Sandakan as a surprise option. Now, Sandakan is a surprise attacking, wicket-taking option. Now, over a period of 5 games, it will be interesting to watch how the South Africans will approach him, because they've already seen him. There is footage, they'll take a closer look. But Sandakan is going to be that secret surprise weapon, the wicket-taking weapon for Sri Lanka. So that's a good move to have him there. And then, of course, the rest of the team. Some interesting names, but I won't want to tell you that the Sri Lankans are going to win the one-day series. But what I will tell you is that the Sri Lankans will compete. They will definitely compete. And what is important is to start the series, which happens on the 28th at Port Elizabeth, to give a good account of themselves, just to make sure that they go out there and compete, not to lose badly. I mean, even if you lose, you compete and lose, that's fine. I don't think anyone will find fault. The problem with Sri Lanka so far on the tour, particularly in the Test series, is that they haven't really, or they didn't compete as the series unfolded. Now, South Africa, they've had a few newcomers, and also they've got A.B. de Villiers back. Now, that's not good news, because A.B. de Villiers is one of the most destructive batsmen in the world. Now, in form, he can be a very difficult player to bowl with. Now, South Africans so far have done brilliantly in the one-day series. The last time they played Australia, they won 5-0. So that's not good news for the Sri Lankans, because at home they can be difficult, and they will also be smarting after they lost the T20 series after defeating Sri Lanka in the Test series. Now, A.B. de Villiers, as I said, coming back can be a factor. He is considered one of the most destructive, aggressive and exciting batsmen in the world. Now, he can take on any bowling attack at any time, so he's going to be a challenge. The Sri Lankans will have to look at, curtailing him, restricting him, and also getting him out. And of course, Lungi Ngidi, I was impressed with him. I was really impressed for the youngster. The way he bowled in the T20, of course, the last game, he couldn't really do his bit. But in the second game, and also in the first game, I mean, he was very good. He's not expressed by any means, but he can work up a good head of steam. He's sharp than being expressed. But South Africans seem to unearth some very fine young fast bowlers. And Ngidi seemed to be the one that will take South Africa, or partner Rabada, as they go forward in the South African bowling lineup. So I am excited. I must be honest, I'm very excited, particularly after Sri Lanka beat South Africa in the T20 series, and the Sri Lankans have everything to play for. They have a lot to look forward to, and I'm sure that if they compete well in this ODI series, even if they lose, no one will find fault. So that's the story this time from Around the Wickets. Hope you enjoyed it. Join us again when we come back with our analysis after the one-day series. So until then,